Today we're doing section 2.1 and we're going to be doing operations with complex numbers. So some things that we need to recall from last year is that you get an I whenever you take the square root of a -1. Also, we need to recall that I squared is equal to a -1. So those are two key things. So technically when you get an I squared, it's actually a real number, not imaginary. And the last thing we need to discuss is the standard form. And we kind of did this in chapter 6 where you have this a plus bi. So a is your real part of the complex number, b is your imaginary part, and the total makes up your complex. So for our first example, we're just going to go through adding, subtracting, and multiplying complex numbers. So for our first example, we have the quantity of 5 minus 11i plus the quantity of 7 plus 4i. And again, this is a review. We did adding, subtracting, and multiplying. The only operation we did not do last year in algebra 2 is dividing, and we'll do that tomorrow. So here nothing's happening to these quantities, so I can actually drop the parentheses. And we're going to combine like terms, so I can combine these two and then these two. So 5 plus 7 gives us 12, and then I have minus 7i. So that's our final answer for adding. So 12 is the real part, -7 is the imaginary part. For our next example, I have the quantity of -5 plus I minus the quantity -11 minus 6i. So again, the first quantity, nothing's happening to it, so I can just leave it like this. For my second quantity, I need to distribute this negative in, so it'll become plus 11 and then plus the 6i. And then I can combine like terms, so I'll get 6 plus 7i. So the real part is 6 and the imaginary part is 7. So that's adding and subtracting. So next we're going to talk about multiplication. So here we have 4i of 3 minus 5i. So for this we need to distribute, so I'll get 12i minus 20i squared. And again, we talked about at the beginning of the video that I squared is equal to -1. So I minus 20 times the -1, so this will change that to become positive 20. And all I ask is that in your final answer you put it in standard form. So that means the real part goes first and the imaginary part goes second. Okay? So that's when we just simply distributed. Now we're going to do one where we have to FOIL. So for this one I have the quantity of 7 minus 3i times the quantity of -2 minus 5i. So again, for my boxers, you would set this up, and this will go on the outside of your box. My FOILers, so we're going to go ahead and FOIL, so doing first, outer, inner, last. So I'll get -14, -35i, positive 6i, and then a positive 15i squared. So the people who do the box, you should have gotten those 4 things in your box. I can combine these two terms. So this will be minus 29i, and then this will become 15 times a -1. So this will change that to be -15. So -14 minus 15 is -29 minus 29i. So again, this is the real part, this is our imaginary part. So in total, that makes up our complex number. So that's all for today. We're going to save division for tomorrow's lesson, and we're going to just do a lot of practice on these to make sure we're okay with this concept. Okay.